Oh boy. Here we are. Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast is here for your listening pleasure after a pretty much embarrassing Sixers loss here this evening. At one point in the game, we was almost down by 40. It was crazy for a minute. I give the Sixers credit for battling all the way back. I think the closest we got to was like 14 points, maybe 12. The ending score was 125. 112 was the ending score. Um, it's a lot to unpack this game. I'm gonna start off by talking about the positives. The positive was Paul George and Joel Embiid played. The negative was Paul George and Joel Embiid played. We said we played better without him. Be honest, which is the crazy part. Maxey had a good game. He had 27. 9 for 20, 45% from the field. He shot 40% from three. Solid game. This is how many games? 20 something games now straight with 25 points or more. Maxey continues to be a bright spot for the Sixers franchise. I'm loving that. That's a huge positive. The dude Grimes, the young boy Grimes that we got in the trade, he actually looked pretty good too. He dropped what he had 14 tonight. He shot 55% from the field. He's 5 for 9, 2 for 5 from 3, 40%. That's solid. I could win with that. But how about all right, we lost. and Tobias Harris outduels Paul George. Now we've been talking about this all year. How it might have even been crazy, silly of us to think that we had an upgrade in Paul George over Tobias, and then we go into Detroit and Tobias outduels the boy Paul George, and we get a loss. Malik Beasley was outside his mind. He was hitting everything. He started out hitting the three, and he ain't never stopped. This dude hits 9 threes. That's even in today's NBA, that's still rare, as much as they shoot. He was 9 for 19. He jacked up 19 threes. But the only way you jack up that many is when you hot. And he was splashing. At one point, he was like 5 for 7, I think, in the first half. Then he cooled down a little bit after half, but he still kept splashing. And he was one of the main reasons why we lost the game. But it was a couple factors. Joel Embiid didn't play well. Yada, yada, yada. Surprise. He was off 38%. But what's your take? I could go on and on. I could go on and on.
The Pistons didn't even have their best player tonight in Cade Cunningham. I'll say this. In Nick Nurse's defense, it's almost like he's coaching a new team every night.
I agree.
You don't know who's coming. You got this dude, Grimes, from the trade. You got to fit him in. Joel Embiid and Paul George are playing maybe for the third time together all year. You got to get them to work together. You have Justin Edwards now. You got a new toy. You got to learn how to play him. Justin Edwards is really coming along nicely.
Yeah. What did he do tonight?
Tobias Harris, I'm telling you, every time he plays the Sixers, he's going. You could tell he had an extra. He has an extra. How they say it? He had an extra. He had an extra whatever in the step.
Pep in the step.
Pep in the step. That's the word I'm looking for. He wanted it tonight. It seems like every time he plays the Sixers, he's gonna go hard. He wanted it tonight, and he played like that. Detroit played with a lot of energy too. Man, to have Paul George and Joel Embiid back in our lineup, the energy was lacking tonight. No intensity. And Beasley was on fire too. You can't take that out the equation. The Sixers played lazy. A lot of loose balls, a lot of deflection. They didn't get none of that. No energy. Joel Embiid looks real. In the first half, he looked terrible.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So he's still trying to get back in shape. I guess we're gonna be dealing with this all year. I don't know.
How you gonna get in shape if you don't play? Like this is the.
I was telling y'all that, but this team feels so. At one moment you look at him and be like, "Oh, we could play with anybody." Then the next game, it's like we can't play with nobody. This team.
That's because Joel Embiid and Paul George in the lineup. At this point, I actually think we play better without him. I ain't gonna hold you. It's crazy. Call me crazy. Call me just being a regular Philadelphia sports fan who always look at it. But this is crazy. Like, I mean, excuse me. With Embiid out the lineup, then we beat Cleveland without Joel Embiid. Wasn't he on? Wasn't he? He's not playing. I don't think he played in the Cleveland game.
I don't think he played in that game. We was up on Boston. And
we went toe to toe with Boston. We went toe to toe with the Lakers. I mean, we've been playing exceptional basketball without Joel Embiid. Even Denver, we could have easily beat Denver. The Denver game we should have won without Joel Embiid. But all of a sudden we get Joel Embiid, and Detroit's been playing. They've been playing decent. Last 10 games, they 5-5. They 26-26. They've been playing better than a lot of people thought they would from last year. So no knock on Detroit here. But how you beat Cleveland, go toe-to-toe with all these other teams, and then get ran out the gym pretty much for the better part of the whole game by Detroit. That's crazy to me. When you got two of your big three that's supposed to be so instrumental in getting y'all to the next level. And this is what we get for all the money, all the sacrifice. This is what we end up with. Come on, man. Come on, bro. This
you gotta figure out how to play these guys together. They didn't play together long enough that you to try to figure out anything with them.
That's facts. I agree with that. Who saw that? Paul George and Embiid. Not wanting to play or not being able to, not wanting to, whatever it is, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So was this a new? Who we start? Who started tonight? Maxi Oubre. This might be the. What was you on 29?
Because Justin Edwards never. I don't think he ever played with Paul George and Maxi in the lineup. Paul George and Embiid.
So 30. So now we got 31 different lineup changes, the most in the NBA. This is crazy, bro.
People screaming "wave Embiid" and stuff. Did you? How do you feel about that? That blow up between Joel Embiid and Curry. I mean, Joel Embiid and Kelly Oubre.
First of all, don't ever confuse Kelly Oubre and Steph Curry ever again.
You seen the Joel Embiid, Curry, and Kelly blow up on the sideline. It looks like Joel Embiid was upset about the effort that Kelly Oubre was getting. Kelly Oubre put out as far as getting back. I think Joel felt like Kelly could have came back and defended that better. He felt like Kelly jogged back and didn't pull all effort into it. How do you feel about Joel Embiid coming at Kelly Oubre, knowing he missed more than half the season already?
Well, first I want to give a shout out to my young boy Mark Fennell. He just texted me. It was 31 different lineup changes. Shout out to my young boy for tuning in. Him and Pop probably watching. See, I want to say it's all about nothing because stuff like that happens in the heat of competition. But I think with this situation, it might be a little deeper. I honestly don't think they respect Joel Embiid. Like if you miss a certain amount of games and you grabbing your knee, but you doing handstands in practice and all this other stuff like that, you coming back looking like trash. At a certain point, boys don't really respect you like that. Then you want to come and yell at me for not getting back. When earlier, I don't know when the play happened, but it was a play. I don't know if it was the play was it a play that you was talking about when Joel Embiid they threw a oop over the back of his head. I thought that should have been his person to defend. I don't know if he was blaming. I don't know what play it was he was playing on for. But either way, Joel Embiid did not look spry on defense at all. People was laying him up, running past him. He was missing rebounds. He only had 7 rebounds tonight, and he had plenty of opportunity to get extra rebounds. They was out jumping him. He wasn't boxing out a couple times. Bulls coming through, catching putback dunks and all that stuff like that. And then you want to come at Oubre's situation, and then you want to not only did you come at him, you tried to clown him by showing him how he didn't get back like this little duck walk Joe. Like you was out here like this. You supposed to be like, no, bro, what? You ain't even playing half the games. I'm in here 80-90% of the games, and you missing 80-90% of the games. And now I'm supposed to respect your criticism about whether or not I'm getting back on defense. It called me crazy. I could be tired from playing. We played like 4 or 5 games this week. Where was you at? I could be a little fatigued. All right, I took a play off, even if the Bull did get behind me. What you doing? Ain't no way in the world I'm going to let a Bull who been missing 85-90% of the games come and tell me what I ain't doing. That's crazy. And that's how I think Oubre felt. That's why he started yelling at him. Like, you must be out your cotton picking mine.
He did. Yeah, Joe. That's first of all, it was. I think it was. I want to look at the score again. It was 2 minutes left. They was down 19 with 2 minutes left in the third. Could you still make a comeback? Yeah. But this is what I mean about Joel Embiid sometimes. That's not the place and the time in that moment when you missing all these games, then you want to come back and yell at your teammate because you feel like he's not getting back.
Exactly.
That's not a leader. That's not a leader. I guess he's trying to rally the troops. Like you know what I mean? He's trying to show this his team, show he's the leader. That right there, trying to throw your teammate under the bus in front of everybody and on the cameras is not how you do it. That's how you create enemies on that team. First of all, you're hardly ever there. You're hardly there. I can probably promise you everybody on that team likes Kelly Oubre better than they like Joel Embiid.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Yes, Kelly Oubre been hooping lately. He's been putting up buckets. He's been playing aggressive, cutting to the rim, playing defense. Oubre been everything that we brought him here to be, and then some. I'm very happy with the way Kelly Oubre is playing. I can guarantee you, you cannot say the same for Joel Embiid. Not the fans nor the people in that building ain't saying the same thing about Joel Embiid. That's crazy that you would try to treat the boy like that off of one play and you barely even been here. The best thing you can do,
you're not even going to play the next game.
Exactly. The best thing you can do is shut up a ball. That's what Oubre probably said. You could get back when you play 1 out of 10 games. Of course, you can get back easy. I've been hustling and balling for the last couple months, and you've been sitting on the bench in sweatpants. And now you want to come and tell me about running back, man? Come on. See, this is the fraudulent stuff that Joel Embiid, and I said this about other players before in the past. I know everybody like to, say everybody's superstars and certain Bulls is, great players and all that kind of stuff. But it takes a certain type of mentality to lead other professional men. Like all these dudes, you gotta think about this. And we talked about this before. The 10th dude on a NBA roster, either in college or in high school, was the man where he came from. All right. So now you bringing these dudes who now used to be the man and still think they got game and can ball if they're given the opportunity. Now you got to be the person as the man who's been anointed by, the team or whatever. Now you got to be the dude to take all these dudes under your wing and lead these cats by example, by motivation, by all this. You gotta galvanize the troops. Ain't no dude who not playing galvanizing the troops. It just don't work like that. And then when he come back, he don't even play that well. He looked out of shape half the time. He ain't moving as fast. He missing easy shots. He used his mid used to be money. Now the draw looking suspect. What would he go for tonight? I think it was like 38%. What was his total stats tonight? Let me pull it. Let me pull this 18. 7 for 18. 38.9, 39%. 1 for 4 from 3. 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Come on, man. And then you want to call out oobs like that? See, it takes a certain type of personality to lead, and everybody ain't built for it. Clearly, this ain't in Joel's wheelhouse. It's not.
It's not. And the team, I know he's talking about on the board. The team the offense don't look the same to me with Joel Embiid. I said this before. The ball sticks a lot with Joel Embiid. He's a dominant player. He scores, but I see you. I noticed Joel trying to swing the ball a little more, but this thing is going to be. It's going to be a work in progress going through because first of all, he's not going to play every game, so he's not going to get comfortable. I don't know how we feel if Joel Embiid sits out half the games that you just come to the playoffs and everything's going to click. That's what I've been saying earlier. How can you miss all these games, play your starting lineup maybe 10 times during the whole season, then you just jump in the playoffs with your starting lineup and think you're going to win games? I don't see it happening.
Oh, it ain't going to happen. It definitely not happen. Shout out to Norm McCoy. You always show love, bro. I know Ethan said it before, but I'm going to say it again. I appreciate that. He said if B don't dominate on the offensive end and rebound and play ball and play defense like that, he needs to sit the rest of the season. It's over. I agree. Hey, Charlie, I'm talking about See, that's what I'm talking about. These bulls out here, man. Y'all talking crazy, man. He talking about he scored 20 points in the third quarter. Man, they was getting played with garbage points. At a certain point, teams do when you up 40, you actually do let your foot off the gas a little bit. Let's keep it a bean. When you up close to 40, you ain't playing the intensity that you is if you up 5. So stop giving me all that. I remember everybody talking about that when I called out. Which one called for that? It was Luka, I think, one game. I can't even remember what game it was in the playoffs, in the finals. They was getting routed, and he put up all these garbage time points at the end. Look, he did this. So what? They was getting blown out. And they stayed getting blown out. Ain't like he came back and they was within 2 or 3 and he makes some run. Come on, man. I ain't trying to hear that. Listen, we got a lot of beat apologists. We still gonna have beat apologists.
Yeah.
He's not here, and when he's here, he ain't playing that good. That's the bottom line. He's shot. He don't move as well no more. His leadership ability, his qualities is sus. I don't even know if they were ever good, but now we're starting to see it really unravel. I'm telling you right now, I agree with Ethan 100%. The majority of people on that team don't even look at B like the leader like that. Everybody, if Maxey would have came at Oubre like that, I promise you Oubre wouldn't have snapped on Maxey. Oubre snapped on B because it was B talking to him about playing defense when you're not even here, and when you hear you barely playing defense, you must be crazy. I'm telling you that's how Oubre was thinking.
Yeah, Bernard McCoy. I agree with that too. It is over. I don't good looking out too. Again, good looking out. You always show love. I just don't see us making any noise in the playoffs. Do we get there because we already lost our first round draft pick? So, you gotta play for something. Unless you get a top 6, and you probably ain't gonna tank that bad. So I guess you gotta fight for the play-in to see what happens. But right now, from this game, from the way Joel Embiid looks on the floor, and then he's probably gonna miss some more games. I don't see a lot of positives from that aspect. Now, the positives I do see is the young talent that we do have. Grimes seems like a good pickup. We'll see how what that turns into. Justin Edwards, he's turned into a heck of a player. Who's the other guy and we got rid of some stiffs too. Like getting Caleb Martin out here was really a good move. Who else?
Yeah, I'm complete stiff now. Caleb Martin is not complete stiff. Toward the end, he actually was coming around a little bit, but he too inconsistent. He up and down. And I can't even put
out the rotation. Ricky Council's out of rotation. My bad. Go ahead.
Council's out. Yeah, he ain't playing until some garbage minutes tonight. Charlie M still got his cape on for Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid at one point was my second favorite player in the NBA behind Steph Curry. He's not plummeted. He's behind Maxey in my mind. It's just not even. I'm not even talking about talent-wise. I'm just talking about as likability. He's behind my Anthony Edwards, John Moran, all them. He's plummeted in my book. He's plummeted because he's not a good leader. He don't have that grit. He don't have that grit to him that you need in somebody to lead your franchise. He just don't. And now whether it's his body breaking down and all that, all right, I can give him some of that he just the wear and tear on his body, he done. But that's the bottom line is if he done, he done. There ain't nothing you can do about that. It's over.
It ain't nothing you can do about it. And you paid him for the next 3 seasons. So you really going to be in a pickle with Joel Embiid. Really going to be in a pickle. I agree. So. I refuse to let Paul George off the hook. He didn't shoot bad. But this is what I'm talking about with Paul George. Like, I see him pass up on what can easily look like some very makeable buckets to me. I don't. It seems like he'll have a move and he'd be mid-range, pull up and then pass it out. He does that an awful lot. I don't know if, and maybe this is with the bull. What's the corny bull name that we drafted that on a podcast that was hating on him and Joel? What's his name? Evan Turner.
Yeah, I don't know if this is whatever Evan Turner talking about him being soft, but it appears to be he don't. Another dude again. He don't have that dog in him like that. Like I seen more dog in Tobias than I be seeing in the ball. Paul George. Yeah, like, this is crazy to me. This is wow. I see more dog in Justin Edwards than I see in Tobias. I don't. But you got too many years in your belt. You making too much money. You got too much talent. to be playing as goofy and up and down as
Be
you do.
comfortable. What you talking about? This is what happens when you listen. You signed your last probably $200 million deal in the NBA. This is what you wanted. Life is good. Life is good, man. You really think he's really that concerned about the Sixers thinking right now when he don't even play every game either? He don't play back to backs.
It's just sad.
So you can't tell me this dudes is that dedicated to winning when they got this. Oh, they don't play back to backs. And LeBron's doggone there 40 years old and he almost played every game. So I'm not trying to I'm not trying to hear it with the Paul George thing. Joel Embiid made it a little different because he got all these injuries. Some dudes are just their bodies just can't take it. Their bodies can't take it. Joel Embiid's probably on that category. He got knee on knee, whatever's going on. But
that bone on bone.
Yeah, when I say knee on knee, he got bone on bone. He got bone on bone going on. He looked like he had 3 knees out there tonight, the way he's moving around.
Bandages and knee braces and all this other old crazy stuff. Sleeve, a sock over it, 3 socks wrapped around another sock.
Joel, he a China doll. I thought he was going to go. I think he went to the locker room and came back tonight, as a matter of fact, didn't he? Didn't he go to the locker room for a little bit and came back?
Did he?
Yeah,
I was while watching the game, so I might have. When he fell, when he fell.
One time he went to the locker room, he came back during the game. I seen Keith Pompey, one of the dudes, texted about it or tweeted about it. But yeah, and the bull and B Lazy and PG, man, we stuck with these bums. We missed the trade deadline. I guess the Sixers had that run with Maxi's, but it does look like, I'll say this, it does look like the Sixers are trying to get younger and maybe shifting away from building around Embiid and trying to build a load of Maxi straps with the trades coming in. So
yeah,
hopefully we could do some noise like that. This year is over. It's a wrap.
Yeah. Sixers play Super Bowl Sunday. We actually play Super Bowl Sunday. We play the Bucks 2:00. All the NBA games are early.
That's something to watch. You know what I mean? To just watch them to the game before the game. Yeah. Maybe after that we could do a little pregame.
I'm cool with that. I mean, what you think about Saquon not winning the MVP and your homie? I'm sure you got to be giddy gumdrop.
I'm not. Boy, he didn't deserve it.
Okay, tell us why you not have.
He played well, but Josh Allen did not deserve league MVP. Not even. It's either I understand you have Lamar Jackson fatigue, but the numbers don't allow what Lamar Jackson did and with his team. But Saquon Barkley, man, he really had the Eagles on his back. 2,000 yards. I know they're making this a quarterback award, but it should really be the best player on the team award, the one that's carrying that team, and it's Saquon Barkley. We all seen it. We've seen it in the playoffs. We've seen it in the regular season. Saquon Barkley, man.
I agree. You could also say Zach Bond could have probably won Defensive Player of the Year. He had a monster year defensively. This I don't like that. See, I don't like this automatically. Like everybody mind you look to the quarterback. You almost you looking for a reason not to give it to the running back or any other position. It's almost like a quarterback first. Like, all right, first we got to look at the quarterbacks, and then we got to go to other positions after that. I don't like that. If he balling, he balling. I understand quarterbacks touch the ball every possession, and they are offensively the most important player on the field because they touch the ball every time. Okay, I'm cool with that. However, when you see something like Saquon, what he did this year, he almost had 100 rushing yards every game except like 5 games. In the games he didn't, one was 95, the other one was 84. Then he missed offensive linemen, was getting hurt. Lane Johnson missed 2 games. You had your wide receivers go out a couple games, A.J. Brown and Smitty, so that also automatically puts the pressure on you as a running back. There was so many factors as to why this run was so impressive. And then in spurts, Jalen didn't play well. So you got a quarterback who in some games here and there wasn't playing well. So it was making them stack the box even harder for you. And he was still getting off. I mean, come on, man. The ball, there's no way in the world, in my opinion, he should have won MVP. Then he did something that only 8 people in history did up until that point. 8 people in the history of the game did that. For real, you could make an argument, and this is why you could make an argument for Lamar, because the only 2 people who really did something historic offensively, right, was Lamar and Saquon, because I could seriously doubt it's more than 5 people who threw 40 touchdowns and less than double-digit interceptions. And ain't that what Lamar threw? Lamar threw 41?
41 4 interceptions. He had a great year.
So how many people could, legitimately say something like that? Now, was that including the playoff stats, or that was including just the regular season?
I believe that was just regular season.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So, come on. Thank you. Big shout out around L. Thank you, bro. We appreciate that, man. Much love. So this is, in my opinion, why Saquon should have won it, John. I agree with I think that's Tim comment. He said if Christian McCaffrey had the same stats as Saquon, he would have gotten MVP. That's absolute facts. Absolute facts. I agree with that 100%. I do think Josh Allen got it because they wanted to give it to a quarterback. They wanted to give it to Josh Allen, and they was tired of giving it to Lamar. That's what I think. That's why he got it. Saquon did win Offensive Player of the Year. Big shout out to Quan for that. Lamar won. With the Lamar one, he won like it was some award he won.
Yeah, he did win something.
It was like best all around player or something. What was the award he won?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that. I think in my opinion, maybe did you just lag that? Maybe that was me. I think in my opinion, they felt like it was, well, now it's Lamar got 2, now it's Josh Allen's turn to try to get 1. That's how I felt it was kind of done. It's instead of having, they had Lamar fatigue. You don't want to get Lamar another one, even though he rightfully deserved it. But Saquon probably more than that. And I think the last running back that won it was, I think it was Adrian Peterson with his 2000. Did he win his 2000? The year he got 2000? I got to look that up. I think AP won it.
I think he did. Well, Lamar actually, I think for the regular season, 41 was including the playoffs. The 4 touchdowns on the playoffs. So you take them 4, he had 37 passing touchdowns, which is still. So
wait a minute, is that the same thing? How many did Josh Allen have if you take them away? You sure about that?
I'm looking at it now. The 41 is including the game against Buffalo and the game against Pittsburgh. When you just pull up the regular Google stats when you look at it. Now, if you go deep dive.
No, 17 games. 17 games, 41 touchdowns.
Let me see here.
I'm looking at reference. What is this one looking at? Pro Reference Football.
Okay. All right. I'll stand corrected then. All right. Well, that's that's impressive. 41 and only 4 picks. That's what I'm saying. So if you really talking about, again, if you talk about the historical accomplishment of that, how many people in history passed for 40 touchdowns and only threw single digit interceptions? So this is why I think it's either Saquon or Lamar should have got it, for the simple fact that that's historic. That's a historic number. They both put up historic type numbers. Saquon got to 2,000. I think he was the 3rd lowest attempts to get to 2,000. The only person got lower attempts than him was OJ and Barry Sanders. So
that's a class right there to be
in. Elite class. Charlie M, shout out to you. He says, I don't think B has really come to
Bernard. You're talking to Charlie M.
Oh, my bad. Charlie M. Bernard McCoy. My fault. Shout out to you. I don't think B has really come to grips that he may not be the man no more. Still very good. But he now has to play and oppose some more and defer to his teammates. Yeah, he's not the man no more. It's Maxie's team. It's Maxie's team, not only skill level wise, but also leadership wise. Maxie has the team. If y'all notice, everybody willingly gives Maxie the ball. They look to give Maxie the ball. I'm telling you, if Maxie would have snapped on Oubre, first of all, I don't think Maxie would have tried to play Oubre like B tried to play him. Because it's one thing to give somebody criticism, is one thing to be like, yo, come on, bro, we got to hustle up, blah, blah, blah. And then it's another thing to try to outright clown somebody. He was trying to clown Oubre. That's weak leadership to me. When he did that,
I think
that threw the whole conversation.
Leadership isn't always jumping on somebody and pointing out what they're doing wrong. That's not. I know people lead in different ways, but I know people look at that and like that's what he's doing. That's what leaders do. There's other ways you can lead too. And the way he did it too was a little disrespectful. He's like, you walking up the court like you know what I mean?
It was kind of funny.
He was trying to clown him. He like, you walking up the court like this. Like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if he didn't do that, Kelly might have took it a little different.
It was funny. It was funny, but it was nutty. Yes, I agree 100%. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Because that's what when he did that, that's what Oubre started snapping. Oubre started snapping when he did that. Like, yo, you ain't going to sit out here and try to clown me in front of thousands like that, in front of millions. That was nutty. Robert said, yo, he's about to steal off on the beat. He wanted to, I'm telling you. He was get in the locker room. Get in the locker room.
You walking up the court.
Yeah.
Yeah, that locker room,
In the locker room. It's a different story.
So, you don't say that when you got so much stuff in your closet, so to speak. You got a lot of stuff for Oubre to pull out. Like, oh, who you talking to? You got this. You don't do this. You always late. Remember, you always late to practice. You doing this. Then you want to sit here and try to clown me on a basketball court for one play? For one play? We here holding this team together. We holding the team together, Joel. Where you at? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that was it was nutty. And that we're gonna hear about that all week, though. We'll talk about that all week.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with it. But this week is officially Super Bowl week, and it's about to be. It's pretty much Super Bowl weekend. Once it's Friday, it's the weekend. Super Bowl weekend. I know we talked about it a little bit. How you feeling? What you feeling?
I was actually really confident all week. Now, when it starts creeping up, man, you know the second thoughts start popping in. The uncertainty starts coming up. But I will say this: the Eagles, on paper, have the much better team. We almost better them at every position. But maybe you could say tight end and quarterback. But other than that, at every position, we are better than them. Maybe coaching. That's a big part of this thing. Big part. But I think the Eagles are gonna get it done, man. I know you saying you don't see a blowout, but I could see it heading that way. I can see it heading that way real quick unless the refs get involved.
The reason why I say it's hard for me to see a blowout is historically, Chiefs don't get blown out. And they only got, they got blew out one Super Bowl. That was by the Buccaneers. 30-31 to like 7 or something like that. Tim was talking about that earlier. The offensive line wasn't as good, and Tampa just went blitz crazy on Patrick Mahomes. Got him out of rhythm. Tom Brady did his thing. Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl. So am I saying a blowout is like impossible? No, I'm not saying that. If we play like we played against the Commanders, the Chiefs don't stand a chance. I'm telling you that right now. My only problem is the elephant in the room. That's my only problem with the elephant in the room. Who's to say, all right, for instance, the majority of us saw the Texans game. Very early on, refs had their thumbprint all over the game. From the very first drive, Chiefs go to 3rd and 8. Mahomes threw an incomplete pass, flag. Then next play, they get a first down. I think they actually drove and scored a touchdown on that drive. Several drives later, same thing. Is about to have the punt situation, flag. So it don't even have to come down to the end. You can stop momentum very early. That's what I'm concerned about. The only thing I'm hoping now is that enough attention has been brought to this whole thing that the NFL has they can't put their thumbprint on this game because too many people is watching. That's the only thing I'm hoping, that they can't do it because it's been talked about. It's video evidence. This dude's life mission to make videos showing how other teams got robbed. In Buffalo 2 weeks ago, how many times they moved the ball when Buffalo had guaranteed first downs, ref come moving it back and all this kind of goofy stuff. That stuff concerned me. But I'm just hoping enough attention was made, enough records was made that they can't do it to us right now. That's the only thing.
My thing is this: for the Chiefs, yes, they play calling's good, but their receivers aren't good enough. If you notice, if you watch a lot of Chiefs games, Patrick Mahomes does a lot of buying time with that football and making plays like that. That's what you got to stop. Eagles got to get that rush on him. Don't let him buy time to get the pass off. We have the secondary to cover these guys, so they won't take away his first option and get on him. And get him down. That's what Eagles got to do. All that dance, all that moving, that dance. He's great with that. He's great with navigating the pocket. He's great with making dudes miss. He's great with extending plays. If you stop that and you get him off the field on third downs, this game gonna be over fast.
I can agree with that. I'm not going to be at peace until the score hits 0-0 and the Eagles is up. I don't care if we up 30 and the fourth quarter is starting and it's 5 minutes left. Even if it's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I'm still not going to be at peace until the clock says 0-0 and green and white confetti is falling in the air.
Yeah, but then straight down Broad Street.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I got a couple house calls I'm gonna make if the Eagles win. I'm knocking on them. I'm doing a couple drive-bys on some haters, popping up on a couple cats. But you gotta handle business. We started this foolishness 2 years ago, 2022. We let them get that first win that started this three-peat. We gotta end it. We have to end this madness. Fly, Eagles, fly, man. Listen, we're gonna get it done. I'm confident that we are the better team. I'm confident if the refs don't get goofy, we will win. That I'm confident about. I'm just not confident how the NFL going to try to make this thing play out. They love a storyline. They love a GOAT. I think the NFL sees even the NBA is big on large part, obviously Magic and Bird did their thing. And then Jordan came along, and the more Jordan won, the bigger the league got. So the NFL wants to take over the world. So they need a world superstar like Jordan. Jordan became a world-class superstar mainly because he won. I got a sneaky suspicion they trying to put Patrick Mahomes in that Jordan-type world-class superstar. They want him to be like a Messi or what's the other boy named? Ronaldo. They want him to be on that vibe. And once you got that type of attention, you get eyes on your game, and now you can take your game all over the place. That's what I'm concerned about. So don't be surprised I'm back here Sunday throwing a hissy fit saying I told y'all. Don't be surprised.
Phil, what you mean? How are we a better team? We have the better running back. We have the better O-line.
Check.
We have the better secondary.
Wide receivers.
We have the better receivers. We have the better D-line.
Linebackers.
Where are they better at us at? Phil, where are they better?
Phil.
Tight end? They got a better tight end? Oh, okay.
Tight end and quarterback. That's where it go. Oh, he must be a Chiefs fan. I mean, listen.
Wow, Phil.
A lot of Chiefs fans was born within the last 5 years. Let's keep that in mind. Once Pat started winning, he threw a little 50 touchdown season and all that. A lot of Chiefs fans got developed around that time. NFL fan, okay, I get you that. But if you're an NFL fan, you will realize the Eagles do have a better team all around. So I'm not sure what point we arguing here. I think that most of the sports pundits even tell you that. Whatchamacallit, for the better part of the year, people couldn't even believe that the Chiefs only had one loss and was undefeated for a long time, and then only ended up with one loss. And they scored over 30 points one time all year. Like all year? This is what you get? 30 points? Come on, man. I think the highest scoring game they had was 2 weeks ago when they played Buffalo. So, nah. I give you coaching. We talked about that. I give you coaching.
Yeah, we get you coaching.
But you got to remember the coaching staff goes beyond just to Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni. You talk about Fangio, You got to talk about Kellen Moore. You got to talk about all the other coaches. So it is a lot of it's about 30 coaches, not that many, but it's probably at least about 10 to 15 coaches on the sideline. They all play an integral part in getting the players ready too. So
Andy Reid not versing Kellen Moore. Andy Reid's is versing what's our defensive coordinator? Nick Fangio.
Yeah,
that's who Andy Reid gonna be versing. But all right, any final comment?
I will say, and I said this to y'all. Even you and Ethan know Kansas City play up and down to the competition. Nah. They've been getting helped out all year. Let's be clear about that. Most of Kansas City wins this year was due to a crucial flag in a crucial situation. But you can look at all the stats. I done went all through all the information about how lopsided their yardage is, how lopsided their flags is in the playoffs and the regular season, and all that kind of stuff like that leads to wins and yada yada yada. But my last comment on this whole situation is what was I going to say? Now, Phil just threw my whole train of thought. What was I saying, Ethan? I can't even remember what I was going to say. I did have a comment that was going to be impactful, but now he just messed me up. I can't even think about it. What's your last thought? Maybe they come back to me.
My last thought is Eagles 30, Kansas City 17. That's my last thought.
30-17. I'm kind of liking that. I'm kind of liking that a lot. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. This game means more to the Philadelphia Eagles, I think, than to anybody as regards legacy changing. Chiefs is already pretty much established. Even if Mahomes loses this, it don't take away from his greatness.
Don't take away nothing from him.
If he wins it, will it add more, a little bit more? It'll put a little cherry on top. But if you put this win, if Eagles get this win, this sends Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, all defensive players, coaches, Nick Sirianni. This sends them to another level, for real. Especially Jalen and in my opinion, Saquon, and maybe even AJ, depending on the game that he has. But I think those three as players, just talking about the players, those three, and maybe even Jalen Carter, depending on how game he has, because he's already looked at as one of the best defensive tackles in the game. So if he has a monster game, AJ has a solid game, Quan and Jalen, and we win, it's going to send their career into another stratosphere. So it means a lot to them to win this game. But we'll see. I'm very optimistic that we can pull it out if the rest don't do their thing.
We good to go. Eagles, baby.
Listen, Phil W. Jalen does get some criticism, but I'm gonna tell you, I was at 2 games in 3 weeks, and every time they mentioned Jalen's name, that whole stadium erupted. I mean, erupted like it was Michael Jackson coming out onto the stage. So I hear what you're saying. You might hear people giving Jalen criticism and all that kind of stuff like that. But Philly fans, we like Jalen. We love Jalen. We rock with Jalen. So Jalen going to do it for us, and it's going to send his career to a whole nother level. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. Let's go. Let's get this game. Hit that like button, y'all. Sunday. Next time I see y'all again, I'm going to either be crying tears of joy, tears of me.
Yeah. We're gonna make sure y'all get your Eagles merch. Yeah, y'all merch. All right, like, comment, subscribe, y'all. We'll see y'all Sunday.